Welcome back, everybody. Let's take a break with Stephen, Mr. Stephen Shamus.
Good to see you, my friend.
Yes, always a pleasure.
Alex,
we're busy, huh?
Before we, very busy. I'm going to be traveling all over the place. Before we get started, I know that you found a new app that makes us look like we're in different places.
Yeah, let's see if we can. You want to flip it?
Yeah, I want to flip it for a second. Put us in a movie theater, Alex.
Zoom a movie theater. I can do movie theater. Let's see.
I think next time we do the show like Siskel and Ebert.
I hope we can put something up. Can we put something in the background?
Maybe. You know what? You'll tinker with it.
There's got to be some way to put something in the background. Yeah.
By the way, am I dating myself by saying Siskel and Ebert? That's a long time ago.
I don't know. I think they're in the pop culture world. Okay. I think it's okay to say Siskel and Ebert. Maybe if you're talking to a high school class, no. But I think our listeners know who Siskel and Ebert are.
Are they both deceased now or no?
Yeah.
Oh, they are both deceased.
Siskel went first, and then Roger Ebert. Oh, they were fantastic. I loved when they get into arguments.
Oh my God, they were great. All right, Alex, what do we got today?
All right, we're jumping back into the Marvel fever. We're going to talk a little Muse from Daredevil. We're going to talk Dr. Faiza from Excalibur, Spider-Man 2099 because we need to.
I'm sorry, who's
classified?
You're the Blue Panther.
No.
The Caped Blue Satyr?
No, I'm...
Dark Garfield.
No, stop.
Macho Libre.
I'm from another dimension.
You are?
And then Mongo, not Mogo, the planet, Mongo from Aquaman.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so what are we going to start with today, Alex?
Muse, a Daredevil villain, a newer Daredevil villain, really.
Yeah, I think there's rumors that might be the villain in the new Daredevil TV series, which was actually just pushed, right, because of the filming and everything.
Yeah. They had to push the whole thing. So like, who knows? I mean, I guess if they jump on it now, like if everything gets handled now and we can go into filming next week, I mean, we're still probably a year, 2 years away. Tops.
Got it. So who is Muse, and why do you think they chose him for the new series? If that's the case,
I think he's a really interesting villain. The Charles Soule stuff was a fun ride. Muse is a villain who uses body parts and blood and gore and kills his victims, and he uses them as his art. I think not a big character in the series. I mean, definitely just one of the villains, and then villains of the month, and then gone, the following month. But it's just an interesting character, interesting design. I think using a lot of the newer, Daredevil doesn't have this giant rogues villains like everybody else does. It's it's just a handful of people: the Owl, the Kingpin, Gladiator, and we've seen them in some form. Elektra, we've already seen them a million times. So I think going back to the well of Elektra and the Hand is great, but you gotta spice it up. So I think that's where we're hopefully going to see some new introductions.
Well, yeah, we're going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because when they did the Spot in the Spider-Verse, everyone was sort of like, how are they going to do the Spot? And then it turned, the way they used that character was really ingenious in the film.
It was great. It was great.
It was great. Fantastic. Yeah. It was great.
Schwartzman for president.
Yeah, so right. So you said Charles Soule, this was the run, of course. Daredevil 11 from November of 2016. There's only 9.8. It's about 125 one sold for recently, but raw, these books are $30 to $35. You cannot find these books.
No.
First appearance of Muse, Charles Soule story, Ron Garney, cover and art. I love Ron Garney's work. And then Daredevil 14 is the first Muse cover. That's from February of 2017, just a few months later. There's only 4 9.8s, and that's a $15 to $20 raw book. So that'll make a great signature book whenever they announce the character and who's playing the character. First Muse cover, Charles Soule story, Ron Garney art with the Dan Panosian cover. All right, what do we got next, Alex?
Excalibur and Dr. Faiza? I'm going to say Faiza.
Yeah, I think there's a rumor also that Dr. Faiza is going to be in something. I can't remember where I read it. But talk to me about a little bit about this character from Excalibur from back 15 years ago already.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, it is a newer character.
Correct.
She was a doctor. She was working during the Skrull invasions where we really first start seeing her. She was helping out, doing doctor stuff. The Skrulls attacked her. She had some latent powers. They kicked in. She she kind of like froze the Black Knight and then figured out to unfreeze him. And then she kind of gets Excalibur and essentially is able to use the Excalibur. So when Captain Britain dies, she takes the sword and becomes the new Captain Britain, essentially. And I think it's very interesting because this is not just another white male or female. It's a person of color, and with the way the Marvel universe and the MCU is working, I definitely think that we would see her soon, especially someone that she worked at MI6. She or MI13, she was an agent. Like, she's got powers. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff here that I think translates into the Marvel MCU very well.
Yeah, so these books have been flying, by the way.
Yeah.
Captain Britain and MI13 #1 Brian Hitch cover from July of 2008. There's 16 9.8s. One recently sold for $250. Paul Cornell story, Leonard Kirk and Jesse Delperdang art with a Brian Hitch cover. Brandon Peterson 1 in 15 variant. There's only 5 9.8s. That's a $25 to $30 raw book. The Leonard Kirk second print. There's 0 pop. It's a $20 to $30 raw book. And the Brian Hitch third print sketch cover, there's only 2 9.8s. One sold recently for $300, and that's a $75 raw book.
Wow.
Hard to find these books, Alex. Hard to find.
I remember when these books were coming out. I mean, I was in the store. They were popular, but not printed high enough. This was a low-end Marvel book for sure.
Yep. All right. Alex's pick of the week. What do you got for us, Alex?
Centurions. I love action figures, and one of the things from my youth that if you remember when Cartoon Networks first started, they really didn't have any new shows. It was just a bunch of reruns of old stuff, and it was whatever was easy. So like they would just put every half hour there was a new show, and one of them was Centurions, and it was kind of past my age time, but it was this cartoon about these guys, these 3 men who had these suits, and they could ask this computer to beam down essentially things that would attach to them to make them a car, a boat, a plane, things that would, like almost like a transformer, but it would be attached to the suit, and then they could use whatever vehicle it was. But they made toys from it, and the toys are amazing. We're talking about like 7-inch action figures, and they just have little holes, and you get these wheels, or you get these plane things, and you snap these pieces onto the action figure, and it becomes a plane or a car or something that goes underwater. And they're not cheap. They're not cheap. It wasn't a successful toy line or cartoon. They did not make many, maybe a first round of regular toys, a couple add-ons, and the villains, and that was it. And then it was gone. But I mean, you're talking like complete in box, $300, $400. Even wow. There's a lot of little pieces for these guys. Like it wasn't just one giant piece you put on. It was a lot of mini pieces that would connect to them. So even loose completes are very hard to find. So loose complete ones, you're looking for $150 to $200 for loose ones. And then pieces. I mean, you're looking at pieces like one fin that someone needs to complete, $10. So it's just fun that these toys, maybe not a successful hit, but a hit enough for people to want them, and they're really neat. They're really cool toys. Big fan.
Sounds like the Legos when they buy the pieces of the Legos.
Yeah,
that they need.
Snap them on. Yeah.
By the way, I never knew that you were a toy collector. By the way, so
I know it's I keep some stuff secret.
I know. It's one thing I will learn something about you every week, Alex.
That's it. Yep, you got it.
All right, what do we got next?
Back at it, Spider-Man 2099. Our bud.
We have not spoken about Spider-Man 2099. It's hard to believe that in all the shows, maybe we just assumed that it was like a given that we had spoken about it.
We probably had spoken about it very quickly as like a rumor to be, but nothing in depth for sure.
Nothing in depth. And these books are flying.
Yeah.
And they printed a lot of copies of this book, Alex.
This was never a hard book to find. No.
By the way, I think I was in the store when these books came out. Okay, I think I was working in the store, not in the maybe not in the store, but I was around it.
Yeah, I mean,
and they printed a zillion copies of this book.
It was a huge push from Marvel. Ravage 2099, Hulk 2099, Ghost Rider 2099. Like there was X-Men 2099. This was like a huge push, and I wouldn't say it died, but I don't think anything made it past 25, 26, 27 issues. Maybe Spider-Man did. But you know, out of all of those, I think Spider-Man 2099 is the only one that continued, that they keep kind of pushing and bringing back and trying to do something with. But yeah, the original ones, there's a ton.
Got it. Right. Okay, so Spider-Man 2099 #1, November of 1992, 31 years ago. Wow. Okay, there's 3,500 9.8s. So they actually don't sell for a lot of money. However, they don't break out the newsstand versions, and the newsstand version just sold for $550.
Yeah, those are hard.
Yes,
very hard.
So that's the origin of Spider-Man 2099. Miguel O'Hara, played by our friend Oscar Isaac. Red foil cover, Peter David story, Rick Leonardo and Al Williamson cover and art. Then the other books to look at, the other book that has skyrocketed is Superior Spider-Man #17. I guess that's where they brought Spidey 2099 back, and I think that's the iteration that we see in the film. Spider-Man 2099, Green Goblin and Goblin Knight appearance, Dan Slott story, Ryan Stegman and John Livesay art with a Ryan Stegman and Jason Howard cover. This is Superior Spider-Man 17 from November of 2013. There are 30 9.8s. I can't find any for sale. It's a $5 to $10 raw book. Yeah. The Olivier Coipel 1 in 25 variant, 33 9.8s. It's about a $200 book, $40 to $50 raw. Then there's a J.G. Jones 1 in 50 variant, 49 9.8s. It's a $450 book in 9.8 plus, $150 raw. You can't find the J.G. Jones cover.
Wow.
And then there's this book is very, very difficult to find. Mike McCone Hastings variant, 23 9.8s, about $150 in 9.8, $20 to $30 raw. That's an Amazing Spider-Man 316 homage cover. People love the homage covers.
Love them.
All right, what are we closing with today, Alex?
Your favorite Aquaman villain, Mongo.
Rumored, Pilo Asbak. What do we know him from? Is he at Game of Thrones? Where do we know him from?
I don't know. That's a good question.
I can't remember
We're both
where we saw
furiously typing.
Yes, I'm furiously typing. We know him from. I was in Ghost in the Shell.
And his name is fun. It's like the AE.
I know he's got like little squiggly things going on, and
I don't know how to type.
Oh, Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. I was right.
Of course.
You're Ron Greyjoy. Come on, Alex. You got me?
Come on. Yeah.
Got me. So talk a little bit about this Mongo, and I think that's the rumored character that he's going to play. So these are starting to shoot up.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, they're really going to the well on this guy. I mean, he was a ruler of of Necrus, which was the Black City underwater, and it all boils down to, pun intended, he hates surface world, he hates surface dwellers. So anytime he he sees them in the water, he destroys them or tries to destroy them and try to fights them. And of course, Aquaman, we love him, and he's going to stick up for us. But I mean, he's not been in a lot of other stuff. This is a random guy. That's pretty much all we know about him. But very interesting to see.
Any particular reason why you think Mongo, or are they just trying to do something a little different?
I guess that they're just, people are, assuming, like, there's not, again, same thing with other characters. There's not a big rogue gallery of villains here for Aquaman. I mean, you have Black Manta, you have Ocean Master, and that's pretty much it on the big ones. So you have to go back to the well and see who was there. If they want to create a new villain, like, why not just call this guy Mongo and have him in the ocean? Like, the ocean's vast. Ooh, I don't know. It's very weird. We don't know what DC's doing these days.
Got it. Yeah, not well at the box office, that's for sure. Okay,
that's for sure.
Aquaman #30, November, December of 1966. So you're looking at mid-grade copies of this book. There's only 198 8 9.6s, 9 9.4s, 6 9.2s, very low pop, 11 9.0s, and 10 8.5s. It's about $150 raw in a VF condition raw. I think you try to find a nice clean copy with no tears, no rips, no, whatever, not chewed up. And if you can find a nice clean copy, try to get a 7, 7.5, 8, 8.5 cover. Justice League cover and cameo, Bob Haney story, Nick Cardy cover and art.
Yep.
All right, so that does it for us today. We thank you for joining us. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the field below. Otherwise, we'll see you next week, same bad time.
Same bad channel.